Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book, The Icarus Needle, by Timothy Zahn. This is the fifth book in the Icarus Saga from Baen that he's doing. I have reviewed all of the previous books as they've come out. This was actually one of my first Baen series I ever got into. I'm a huge Timothy Zahn fan, as longtime viewers of the channel know. And basically this series started with the book The Icarus Hunt over 20 years ago, and in the 90s, and it was a just a standalone at the time. And then he wrote it for Bantam. And then he had an idea for some sequels, and talked to Bantam, they said no, so he went over to Baen, and he decided to write the sequels of Baen. And so a couple years ago, we had the book The Icarus Plot release, which was a great book. It's a Dragon Award winner, the Dragon Award from DragonCon. And that was the first book of the Baen series. And then you had the books The Icarus Twin, the Icarus Job, and the Icarus Changeling. So now the most recent release is the Icarus Needle. Now, this series, the way we view it, for those who don't know, is that the main series is like those Baen books, and then the first book, the Icarus Hunt, is like a prequel. So that's how I envision it, and that's how Tim Zahn himself envisions it. But this book continues the main story of the Icarus Saga, with both Selene and Gregory being sent to this planet that appears to have like a hub of portals. Previously, it's like, oh, there might be a portal on this planet. There might be a portal on this planet. This time is like, no, not only there are portals on this planet, there's a lot of them, there's a hub of them. And they wonder, is this where the Icari are from? And so that's where they're sent. And also, the Icarus group is under new leadership, and as much as I love the character Admiral Sir Graham Barker, he's a great character. He's there at the beginning of the book, but he is sidelined because someone else has taken over the Icarus group and has renamed it the Alien Portal Agency, the APA, which I already hated the in real life APA anyway because of the formatting for essays, but you hate the APA here because of what they do to the Icarus group. Anyway, and so this new guy takes over, and he brings in a mediator to kind of help make the transition to the APA smoother. And who is this mediator? It is Gregory Rourke's father. And this is literally in the first chapter, so this is not a spoiler. And it's also kind of the pitch that Tim used for the book when I talked to him. Anyway, throughout the entire main series, Gregory Rourke's father has always been present through his sayings. Every chapter, just about, and I actually do believe if we went back, it would be about at least one per chapter, if not sometimes some chapters have two. But almost every chapter has a, as my father used to say, and then there would be some witty witticism. And I always find that enjoyable and delightful. Now, some people don't. Some people don't love those. Some people get annoyed with those, and I understand where they're coming from. I personally love them. And so to see Gregory's father show up here was interesting. It was also kind of funny because his dad doesn't really use that many of those in real life. It seems like he used them up when Gregory was a kid, but his backstory was also very fascinating. And so I was just delighted to see his character show up, and he's in it a little bit. But the main story is Gregory and Selene are sent to this planet where they are as like a hub of portals, and they have to deal with the aliens that they've never met on the planet. And of course, the Path show up. Every book, the Path show up. It's not a surprise at this point. It's like, all right, the Path are going to show up. And this is a puzzle box book, so there are surprises in store. I would say that the series got its most puzzle boxy during the Icarus Twin and probably Icarus Plot. That's when it was like, all right, let's see how complicated we can make the puzzle box. Here, it's getting less and less complicated. It's getting more straight mystery, and that is absolutely the case with the Icarus Needle. It's a bit more just straight up mystery, and this is the first book in the series that has a cliffhanger. It's not a direct cliffhanger. The book ties up everything in the series, but it has the most obvious setup for the sequel. Like, it is like hitting you over the head with the sequel, that the sequel's coming. And so this is like all right. The sequel, the final book, this is a penultimate book. The final book is coming out in April of 2025, and that is the Icarus Coda. I'm very excited about that. But so this is the only one that actually has like a lead into the next book, but I'm very excited to see where it goes. If you're a longtime viewer and you've watched my videos on the Icarus Saga, or you have read the Icarus Saga, you will know that there has been what one of my friends refers to as ship baiting, which is like a relationship bait from Tim. Because obviously, Gregory and Celine should be a couple. And the whole series, they're obviously meant to be that, but Tim doesn't really write romance. Yes, he wrote romance with Mara Jade and Luke. Yes, he wrote romance with a few other characters in some of his other series, like The Manta's Gift. There's no romance here, but it's so obvious they're in love. It's so obvious that Gregory and Celine love each other. He just will not say those. He will not have either character use those magic words or actually like do anything like, to express evidence of their love, except for just like the regular actions as part of the series. So there's one scene in here that was so good. There was one scene, and I was like, yes, Tim is finally committed. He's finally doing what he's supposed to do. He is finally paying off what we have been waiting for 5 books. And I'm so happy when I get to this scene. And then it not only does nothing happen with it, and I was like, darn it, Tim, but also he undercuts it with an "as my father used to say," and it is the funniest, as my father used to say of the series, by far, bar none. It's just so I was so invested in this emotional, heavy scene, and I was like, yes, we're finally gonna hear them say it. And then I'm just cracking up because of how hilarious that "as my father used to say" line was, and I was just like, oh, Tim, why must you do this to me? I'm so invested in your characters and you won't pay them off. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel if we get to the Icarus Coda and we're not properly paid off. Obviously, I'm not saying that, this is just me projecting on the characters. You cannot read this particular book. The other books, I think it's there. It's just more hidden. In this book, you cannot tell me that their characters aren't in love. It's just that they do everything but use those phrases. So, Anyway, I did enjoy the book. It isn't as strong as, I think the strongest 2 books in the series, personally, are the original, The Icarus Hunt, and Icarus Changeling. And Icarus Changeling had another character that really supercharged the story and made it stand out. So this one ranks a little bit higher, but I would say Icarus Plot, Icarus Twin, Icarus Job, and now Icarus Needle are all about the same quality, 7 out of 10. Entertaining stories, so glad I read them. Not amazing, not Timothy Zahn's best series, but I'm really having a blast with it. And I'm glad that I was able to, start on from the start of the series. I had read the Icarus Hunt, years after it came out, but when Icarus Plots, started the main part of the series, I jumped in immediately, and I've been enjoying the ride. So if you've read the Icarus Needle, let me know your thoughts. Are you as invested in this relationship? Did you find that if anyone caught this, it is a as my father used to say, that sounds suspiciously like a right-wing political commentator would say. Anyway, if you saw that, what did you think of that line? What did you think about the whole plot? What do you think about the ending of where it's heading with the next book? And what do you think of the general mystery in this one? Let me know all those thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.